Hi everyone, Tony from Hearns. Today we're starting a very special build. Oops, most of the bits are already falling out. This is the Yokomo SO2.0, brand new two-wheel drive competition buggy. And what's better about it is this is my car. This is the car I'll be campaigning for the rest of the year. So if it falls apart, it's my problem because I built it. I was going to do this with Brett. He'll probably wander in and out occasionally, but I'm going to give this a go. I haven't actually built a Yokomo kit since YZ-2, probably 5 or 6 years ago, which I bought from Hearns, from Robbie Llewellyn Jones, who might be watching this and go, oh God, Tony's doing a video now. Going to build up this SO kit. I've been playing with the Rookie Series car over the past couple of weeks and it's been fantastic. I was really impressed. I've since passed it on to one of my mates who's going to campaign it, and as soon as the new shipment of these came in, I said to Brett, I need one of these. So this is my kit. We're going to start building it now. Don't know how many sessions we're going to take. It'll take a few. Got some hot ups here, ones that have been recommended, not necessarily to make the car go any faster, but just to make it a bit more durable, because my driving skills aren't what they used to be. So I'll probably be running into a few things, but that's okay. The Yokomo can take it. Let's get something happening. Not sure how this works, because as I said, haven't built a Yokomo for some time. Okay, we've got all the screws here. Open this up. There's a nice listing here with pictures of all the screws. Let's see. Yeah, they don't. Screws are pictured here, and also down the side, same as most kits. This is good. I'm going to tip these out over here. I'm going to go with the assumption that the one marked 1, the markings aren't according to each assembly sequence. The ones are all this M3x8, which is what I've got in the first assembly sequence anyway, so we'll be needing that one. I'm going to move these over here, get them out the way, and I'll move this stuff away too. This is unusual for me. Normally I've got a dedicated build area at home. My wife's old sewing table has become my build area, and it's a surprisingly good way of doing it. It's an L shaped and a lot of little areas to put stuff, so she donated that to me when she got her new $3,000 sewing table, so I've got the old one. We need the chassis plate. So I'm going to suggest is down here, alloy chassis plate, and the next part is the side stiffeners. Need to find them. They'll be in here because this is a big one. We're somewhat limited in space here. We can't do a lot about that. There we go. I'm going to put that all over there. Get it out the way. So, first part of the assembly sequence, main chassis, side plates. Strange how the trends change as each year goes on. For a long, long time, oh, you've got to have a carbon chassis plate. Now, it's back to aluminium again. It'll probably go back to carbon at some stage. Whether they're any better or not, I don't know. I think to a certain extent it's just the way the marketing works. We've got to have something different, so we'll do that. Now, I need side cutters for here, and they're not on my tool bench here. I've just done it as a quick cut first. Now, I'll go back in, just refine it so it's nice. Yep, that's much better. Now, I don't want anyone putting in the comment, that's not the way you do it, you should do it. This is the way I'm doing it. Okay, these are held on. On the front, we've got M3x10 screws, which are in the number 2 bag. Number 2. Each company has their own way of doing things. This is Yokomo's way, and it seems to work. Well, let's get going. We're going to need 3 of these. Bring this down a little bit. We're going to need 3 of these up the front. And that's the wrong way around. It's also the wrong side. Just put that in loosely to begin with.
It's all very quiet.
Right. Oh, the boss man's come in now.
Are you filming something?
I'm filming something. Yeah, yeah.
What are you working on?
Oh,
This is an all new SO 2.0, is that right?
I may have mentioned that earlier on.
Fantastic.
I said I love.
You got a few little hot ups for yourself from the show?
Yeah, all the.
Hey, it's going to be a factory build.
This is going to be, yeah, it's a car that's really not going to be worthy of me.
So you don't have, do you want like a Makita 9-volt thing for this? Or
No, I'm going to be happy to just do it nice and slow. Do it,
do it the right way, right?
Yeah.
This is the enjoying bit.
Yeah,
No?
I'm just, it's actually going to, it's not too
Probably
tight.
not enjoying it doing it on camera.
No, it's
So you
okay.
don't get
No,
too
what I'm not
messed and-
I'm not enjoying not doing it in my own
Yeah, that's right.
thing at home because I got way more room. But that's okay. This is fine.
This is fine?
This is fine. I'm happy to do this, and
Like,
as
if
I've,
anything, yell out, but I'm pretty sure these things just about
Yeah.
fall together.
well, I was trying that. I thought maybe it might go together via osmosis, but that doesn't appear to be the case. I'm just quietly putting this together.
One thing that Yokomo introduced, and I don't know that I'm a big fan of it, so they put all the screws now in one packet.
Yes, I did mention
Up
that at the
until 2
start.
models ago, it used to be bag by bag.
Yeah, and that's
for
what I'm
me-
used to.
And I love that.
Yeah.
Especially when you're stopping and starting a build like you will be on this. You won't be doing it all in one, you know what I mean? You end up with 25 open bags.
Yeah, it's a bit of a concern, which is why I've kept the little plastic bags associated with the screws just there.
No, they'll get lost.
I'll be walking out of here tonight, and you'll probably go in and everything that I've carefully packed up.
Right, that's right. No,
Yeah,
I won't do that.
well, that's what I'd do to you.
Look at over here. Oh, what's this?
There's some pink bits,
Hey?
and they're going on this car.
That's fantastic.
I mean,
to make you a custom pair of front tyres.
Oh, they're definitely going on this car, and that will actually define what my paint scheme's going to be.
Bit of pink.
There'll be a bit of pink. There'll be a bit of yellow. It would seem wrong to not do it.
Wow.
So that will be interesting. I know, and I don't know what the paint scheme's going to be apart from that.
All right, mate.
Given I've only just seen the car this morning, so.
If you need a hand, just yell out.
And
I'm sure you've got this under control.
I'll build a car or two in my time. Yes, not. Brett did offer me a screwdriver to put this all together, but I'm happy to just go along manually. One thing you don't want to do is tighten the crap out of these screws. You're screwing into plastic, and it's just not necessary. You just do them one at a time and just nip them up a little bit. That's all you need, and that'll do the job. Of course, by the time I finish this, my right hand will be an absolute mess because I've done so many, but that's okay. We should be alright because I'm only going to do, I don't know, 5 or 6 pages of the build today, and that'll finish it up. I'll go home and then we'll do the next build maybe in a couple of days' time, if Brett hasn't taken half the pieces out of the kit. Okay, one side nearly done. That one isn't quite in far enough. Just running my hand here over them just to make sure that they're all sitting nicely into the countersink holes. That's done. So another 1, 2, 3 of the 3x10s, and 1, 2, 3 of the 3x8s. This is very much the trend now. Aluminium chassis with stiffening side plates. But this one doesn't want to go on. Come on. I know it's the correct size. That's better. Not even that. Just need to line that up. You'll note just a few turns on each one first, get them all in and lined up. You don't want to go screwing in 200 Newton meters and then some of the others don't quite line up because you've twisted it a little bit. So get them all in first, then go through, tighten them up individually. As Brett said, this is a rare thing for me, building a car on camera. I have done a couple of builds with Brett. Tamiya BBX we did together, Genova 2-wheel drive buggy, Tamiya MB-01. I've done all those, but did those in tandem with Brett. So he did most of the work, I just sat here and talked. I'm now changing hands. Give him a right hand to rest. Certainly very happy so far with the quality of the kit. Everything's really nice. As I said before, I've been running the RO series 2-wheel drive for the past 5 or 6 weeks or so, and that astonished me with the degree of competence that it has. The basic geometry and everything of the cars are the same. This has just got a higher level of equipment. It's basically a pro level car. Unfortunately, it's going to be teamed with the somewhat amateur level driver. So I'm just going to potter around in the 21.5 class. Hopefully don't make a fool of myself. but at least I can't blame my equipment. Okay, I'm already wishing I brought my Aramax screwdriver in today. Step 1, done. Alloy chassis plate with the side plates, all good. Step 2, chassis weights. Bag 1. Let's see where they are. That's bag 7. Uh, 10. Bag 1. Probably should have got this out before, shouldn't I? And I can see them down in there. Just going to empty bag 1 out. Chassis weights. I can't say I've ever put... I've added weight myself to my cars, but not from a factory perspective. I think a couple of my associated I've added weights to. This isn't a lot of weight. They don't weigh very much. If we had our scales here, I'd put them on there, but no. That's all right. Okay, we'll put on the big one first, which goes in here. They're tiny little screws. They are in fact M2 by 3. We'll look at Yokomo's chart. They are in bag 11. Now you hear that Brett said he's not too happy with the way this works, but I'm okay with this. M2 by 3s, bag 11. These are so very tiny. Let's empty them out. You can see there, these are really, really small. Put them over here, and I don't think the M2 driver will work with those. Oh, there's one still left in it. I'll leave it there. Yeah. Again, not too tight initially. Go through, get them all in and lined up, and then nip them up. Normally I would probably thread lock these, but I'm going to leave these undone for them with no thread lock for the moment, because I think they'll hold together pretty well. Okay, there's one chassis weight done. These are also M2 by 3s. Oh, you want to make sure you've got the Yokomo logo up top, because it just looks cool. These are so tiny. I think there's a message here. You need to be really careful with these. If you drop one on the floor, you'll never ever find it. Ah, I'll notice in the bag there is one spare one included. That's probably a good thing. I'm being super careful here. I do not want to drop one. Okay, the weight's in. Now I'll just go back. Just nip them up a bit tighter. These will probably never ever take these out. Leads me to wonder, are there, this one's marked as a 9 gram weight. I wonder if potentially there are other options available. I admit I don't know. Front one is aluminium, the back one is steel. Okay, now at this point we're going on to the area that's highlighted. These are the servo mounts. The reason I've highlighted this is I'm not using the kit supplied mounts here. We've opted to upgrade because servo mounts, they're plastics. One you're screwing in and out. If you're moving and putting different servos in and stuff, the plastic wears out. So in this instance, we've opted for the alloy servo mounts, which gives me the option then to take the servo out if I need to and not have to worry about the thread stripping. So we'll take that out of its bag. Ooh, the alloy and the spacer plates are made out of carbon, so there's extra style points there straight away. And there's all the hardware for it. Let's just take these out. These are nice, and you get a nice little silver highlight where they've beveled the edge. That's always cool. Now, where was that? This is a M3x8 flathead, which is countersunk, so that goes in just here. Now, again, I would normally thread lock this, but I'm not going to because I know the servo goes in the next installation sequence, and I'll be putting the servo in, but the servo isn't centered or anything because I don't have my radio gear here to set it up. In fact, I'm using a whole new ESC and everything with this car, so the servo installation will only be temporary. So for the moment I'm just going to leave it like that. These are the carbon spacers that you use to move your servo forward or back depending on what you need. Put them back in the bag so that Brett can hide them on me later. That there. So we're done. Oops. I'll just move this down for you. So we're now at the point I'm going to put the servo in. I'm using a highest DLP 700. Very, very affordable servo, low profile, but absolutely fantastic. I put one in a customer's car last week and he was delighted with how good it was. It's the first experience I'd ever had with them, but I was very, very impressed. So more than happy to put one in my own car. So take that back there, and the servo horn will be in a parts tree over here, and there it is. Because it's not centered, I'm just going to put it on and, oops, how about if I put it on the right way? It's obviously not that one. Got a couple of others here. Let's try this one. And that's the one. Like most kits, you've got a choice of servo arms. I will be replacing this with an alloy one. We don't have any in stock at the moment, so I'll just run with what we've got. We need M3 by 10 button head screw, which in the listings is number 6. That could be 6, but it's actually 9. 5. Just talk amongst yourselves while I'm looking for this. Number 6. Also need a washer, which is M3 by 6. A 7-lemon bag number 15. This is number 15. Yeah, I'm afraid Brett's right. I'm going to need to pack all this up in an hour or so, and these aren't going to remain intact, unfortunately. There we go. So I said before, this is temporary. I'll pull all this out once I've got the radio gear ready to go in. That's done. Servo goes in, and these are M3 by 12 screws, which are included in the hot up kit. Hardware bag. If I was building this at home, I'd be taking it about 5 times as long, because I tend not to hurry when I'm building kits, particularly if it's a competition level kit like this. But I must say, so far this has all gone together really, really easily. A very enjoyable build so far. So it's done. We now have a servo in. The lead's nice and short too. Some of them come with leads like this long, and it's just such a pain to either hide the wires somewhere, or if you're really keen to cut them. And, oh good, Brett's leaving now, so I can slacken off in doing the build. Okay. There's a ball stud that I need to put in there, which I forgot to do. Now, I just need to find where the ball studs are. 8mm ball stud. They're not in the hardware. They're over here as part of bag 1. Let's just open this up. 8mm ball stud. There's 5 of them in here. They all look to be... No! You need to do this. You need to check. Are they all the same length? It's even harder to get them to sit there. Aha. Let's move along. Just checking all these. These ones are shorter. Yep. We'll use this one. It's important to double check things like ball studs, because I'd say the difference is only a couple of mil between these, and it could be a real pain later on when you discover you've put the wrong one in here and you have to disassemble half the front of the car to fix it up. You can take it from me because I've done it before. Okay, so we're good now. Servo's in, servo horns on. Well, now move on to the steering bell crank. I can put the chassis aside for a second because we don't need it straight away. Let's get the bell crank parts. Over here. Nip them off. These are the 9 steps side cutters. Very good. Much better than the crappy old Citchrome ones that I use at home that are about 40 years old. I should get myself a pair of these, or just pinch these ones. Yeah, that works. So we've got that, and we need the centre link, and that's not the place that you go if you haven't got a job. It's this. Oh, there's lots of little bits here. The chances of me getting some of this wrong is extremely high. Let's just unpack some of these. Tiny, tiny little bearings. But that's what makes this a top level kit. All the things that you'd really expect to have, you're getting here. shims over here. You can see here there's little shims here. We need those. That goes around that way. Not much. Things like this aren't much fun if you've got big fat hands like I've got. And again, being very careful not to fling anything on the floor, because I certainly won't be able to find it. And I just found this other bag that's got the collars in it, and I've realised that the shims that I just put on are the wrong ones. But better to find it now than later on. So hard to get these out. So let's pull all that out. And put the proper thinner ones on. Along with the collars, which slip nicely down in. Then these ones go on. This at least shows one thing. I didn't do my homework on this kit like I was told to do. I just came in and did it cold. So, oh. Oop, nearly lost one. One thing you might want to invest in is some really good quality lighting on your pit bench for when you're putting stuff like this together. We've got pretty good lights here, but it's still not enough for me. I'm struggling to see some of the bits. It would probably help if I had my glasses on, but I don't. I left them at home. Didn't realise I'd be doing this today. So let's pull that off. That's done, that's done. Again, the fat fingers are not helping here. Okay, that's all done. So what I've got here, is this assembly here. Now half of this is going to fall off when I try and offer it up to the bell cranks, but we'll give it a try. Now that's this side. I need that one. I'm just checking what I've got here. And again, this is very wrong. So we'll just fix that up. We need M3x12 screws here, which is not what I was using. the bag that I opened up from bag 1 has some of the bits, but not all of the right bits. So I just got the wrong one. That's all right. M3x12 screw, button head, which is in bag 7. Have I opened that up yet? I have not. Let's find bag 7. There we go. Yeah, I got it a bit wrong. That's okay. That's what this is all about. Finding out things. Where are we? I'm going to take that off, and we're just going to do one of these at a time. I think we've got a better chance of success if we do that. That's better. Now we put this on. This goes through the furthest one. These are the bits that I hate. They're so fiddly. There is an optional aluminium bell crank assembly available for the car. I will probably get that, but at the moment I'm just going to run with it like this. You don't want to do it too tight. That's okay. And we need a little nut on top of that. And the nuts are over here. We'll just do that. Do I have a nut driver? Yes, I do. Actually, I'm going to use a Tamiya one. Everyone's got 2 or 3 of these hanging around, or 200 or 300. Unless you've never built a Tamiya kit. Are there people that haven't built a Tamiya kit? I can't believe there would be. Surely they have. Most people start there. I know I certainly did. Mine was a hot shot. Okay, that's good. Another 3x12. We'll push that through there. The collar. Then the washer. And then always check the orientation of these when you're putting them in. It can be very easy to get them wrong, and they're a real pain in the ass to pull them apart and put them back in the proper way. So for the sake of 10 seconds, it's worth doing. We'll screw this one up. In fact, it's even got a note in the instructions. Note position. So check that. And what we've got is correct. Another one of these tiny little nuts. This is just so small. There we go. Alright, do a double check, make sure everything's right. Yep. Now, I've got all those. I've got a couple of ball studs we need to put on there. These are 8mm ball studs, which is this one and this one, with a 1mm spacer There's the spacer. There are 3mm spacers included here as well. Make sure you don't use the wrong one. Otherwise, you got to pull it all apart again. Here we go. Oh, that actually got quite warm. And now screw that all the way through. Just move some of the bits off the assembly floor. Now, you'll see here I've highlighted some of the items in the build. This is basically a wake up to me to say, hey, these bits are optional bits. Ones that I've chosen to use. So the bell crank base here, I've got an alloy version of that, and the front suspension mount. I have an alloy version of that as well. These aren't a performance increase, but they're very much a durability increase. Someone like me, I'm old and decrepit and I crash a lot. So these give me more than a fighting chance of finishing a race instead of DNFing. Now, let's bring the chassis back here. These bell crank posts screw in from the top. They just tiny little done. Now we should be able to get that in there. Yep, just to tighten it off. Okay, they're in. Now we open up the alloy lower suspension mount. Really nice. This is really strong, and again, nice little details with the edge work there. This goes like that and like that. I'm going to flip it over. There are locator pins there, so you can't get it in the wrong place. We've got bearings here. That very nice fit. There's not much tolerance there. This goes like that. Oh. I've just seen that I've missed another bit. If we go back, I forgot this ball stud here. That's where the 3mm spacer goes. Best we put that on straight away. Although to be fair, you could add this in later, it's not critical, but I'd rather do it now. there'll be enough bits left over when I'm finished anyway. Okay, this goes in there. Let's turn back to the correct page. That's in there. You pull it back, you can see that's nice and free. Put the other bearings in on top. All good. Now the aluminium bell crank base, the other optional part in this section. Put that back there. This is because these are aluminium, they don't. There's a bit of work to do to get them just right. Just checking what I'm doing here to make sure I've got it right. Ah, yeah. Got to get these sitting. You got to get this fitting just right on the bell crank post, or it's a bit of an interference fit. There we go. That's better. Okay, that's good. Now we need M3 by 15 countersunk screws. Which are, let's refer back to this. I'm actually getting used to doing it this way. Bag number 3. Bag number 3. Have I opened that yet? I have not. There it is. Let's open that up. Again, just checking. M3 by 15. That's good. You'll note here, front suspension mount, note the position. That's the correct position, that way. Put that there. Flip it over. And we've got 2, just one there and one there. Okay, before I do it up tight, just check everything, make sure it's right, and it is. Just nip that up. And we're good. Now, the manual has us adding the link to the servo at this point. I won't be putting that on. Not now, because I know we're going to have to pull the servo out to center it and everything, so for the moment I'm just going to leave that as it is. Now, we now have a tiny little sway bar. This is a really small gauge. Gee, I'm not actually sure that's going to achieve a whole lot. It's such a thin gauge. However, Yokomo know better than me. So we'll get the front bulkhead, which is here. We flip that upside down, and the sway bar goes in there. There's two little grooves here and here. They locate it. Now we want an M2x4 screw here, which is M2x4 button head, bag 9. Yet another bag I've got to open up. Bag 9. This is the one I thought was bag 6 earlier. We just need 2 out of this one. Now you've got to be really careful with these ones, A, because they're small, but also because you don't want to screw them right down. You want the sway bar to be able to move. So you just want these screwed down enough to locate the sway bar, but not to actually stop it from moving. So I'll screw that down a little way. Now I'll do the other one. So resist the temptation to go hard. Ooh. Whew. Very nearly did what I said I didn't want to do. Lost one. Oh, just... That's twice now. Lucky I've got the rubber mat here. I recommend having a build mat like this, something like that that's going to capture the thing, even though that's gone into the chassis both times, but you want to give yourself a fighting chance of getting a bit if it flies away somewhere. The floor in my build area is carpet, and if it goes in there, you'll never ever find it again. Let's just do this up. Okay, now you want to play with this a little bit, just see if it can move out of its slot. If it can't, then that's good. I'm just going to do this one just a tiny bit tighter, because that's all you want. It needs to be able to move freely, so that is fine. We're okay with that. Now, another hot up part here, as you can see, it's been highlighted. This is the front upper suspension mount. The front mount takes a hell of a beating if you crash into things, like me. So this is definitely worthwhile insurance. Well worth doing, and like most of the Yokomo hot up parts, quite affordable, so it's well worth investing in. We've got another 8mm ball stud, and that goes into here. Just nip that up. Again, aluminium washer, 8mm ball stud, that's good, and we've got 2 nuts. They're captive nuts, so we just slot them in there. There's a special note here, the position of this relative to the chassis, with the bevel bit coming towards the rear. So this slides in there. It goes over the top like that. Move the servo wire out of the way. Good. And what we've got here is, we need one more part of the front end. That's this bit here. This is actually the front wing mount. We've got that there. We need a couple of M3x15s button heads, which I think is these ones here. Goes through there, through there, and we'll just nip these up. And we're done. So we've got the basic chassis done, the side plates, the servos in, steering bell cranks done. We've added a few optional hot up parts, not for performance but for strength, important when I'm driving the car, and most of the front ends bits are complete. We're going to leave it there because most of you are probably already fallen asleep by now. I know I certainly have, and my voice is starting to go. So we'll finish up here. I'm Tony from Hearns. This is my Yokomo SO2 2-wheel drive competition car, and we'll catch you next time.